Why go? Why go? Why go? Why go? Why go? What? Why go? Why go? Why go? Why go? Why go? Why go?
Back in competition. When they think that I done, tell them I just a come. Tell Craig and Sakoti, Astro and Godfrey, the bad boy spirit bubbling inside of me. Boy! When they dip it. Hit me!
I know a badder and them, Lord.
You bad Hollywood, you bad Hollywood bad.
And still more loving and them.
You bad Hollywood, you bad Hollywood bad.
I learned from King Stashiel how to tingle and make the audience feel. I learned from King Fancy how to project the voice, now me fans can rejoice. I must confess, I learned from the best of the best. We not got no rats in the house no more. We not got no rats in the house no more. We not got no rats in the house no more. Since we kick them out the door, they try to sabotage the minimum wage increase. The private sector is we them want to squeeze. That is why we had to clean out the house. That is why we had to scrub it out.
From 8 schools are set to compete in the 2023 Republic Bank Miss Teen Singers and Mirrors Pageant. From the Washington National High School, Tiana Warner. From the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Anthony Wyatt. From the Clarence Fitzroy White College, Sienna Johnson. From the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Destiny Huggins. From the nearest Sixth Form College, Shante Hendrickson. From the Bastia High School, Caitlin Wilson. From the Frochurch High School, Tayonce Lyred. From the Saville Secondary School, Victoria Eloy. To follow the ambassador's journey to the crown at SCAN Carnival on all social media platforms.
You
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sugarmas 52 Media Update. My name is Leah Craig Chatterton, and I'm your host for this morning's proceedings. Welcome to our specially invited guests, and of course, our Honorable Minister to my left, Samal Duggins, Minister with responsibility for sports and the creative economy, where Carnival obviously falls under. We also have with us here in studio the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sports and the Creative Economy, Ms. Valencia Saida, as well as the Director of the Department of the Creative Economy, Ms. Robertine Webb. As we get into today, we have some wonderful updates for you about our upcoming Carnival. But of course, before we go forward, let's take a look back. Who could have imagined 3 years ago in 2020 when we were going through our COVID pandemic that we would be outside again? Yet we endured, as the endurance of our people is obvious, and we came out with a bang last year, 2022, for our first outside Carnival experience after 2 years. It was exceptional and from all accounts, one of the biggest carnivals to date. It saw the increase. It started off with a wonderful opening experience at the opening of Carnival, and we hope they can top that this year. We'll hear from them a bit later on the direction for that. We also saw an increase in the number of participants in street activities as well as in the competitions. This year, our committee has a wonderful, wonderful production planned for you, and it promises to be even bigger and better. We now invite the minister responsible for Carnival to give brief remarks, to give his updates, and then we'll hear from some of the committee members who I'll introduce after the minister's remarks. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you, Ms. Chatterton. And I want to take this time to extend my own greetings to all of you here present. The Permanent Secretary within the Ministry, Sports and the Creative Economy, Ms. Valencia Saida, as well as the Director within the Ministry of, the Department of the Creative Economy, Ms. Robertine Webb. I must take this time also to acknowledge the Chairperson of the National Carnival Committee, Shannon Harley, and by extension, the hard-working team who really pushing the envelope year after year. We started under this administration last year when we had people outside again. And this year, I am telling you that Carnival is poised to be a spectacle. Let's call it that. But today, I'm blessed to be here among all these creatives. And I am also blessed to be the minister responsible for our National Carnival. Because you see, Carnival, as we know it, or as we deem it, Sugarmas, is the single event that generates the most economic activity. So there's no event in St. Kitts and Nevis that generates economic activity like Carnival. And it was just last year in 2022, coming off of a 2-year hiatus, that we brought all the stakeholders and everyone back out, giving them the opportunity, as last year's road match indicated, to be outside again. And what a spectacle it was last year. And that spectacle, if not mentioned enough, was planned within 3 months. And so, when you look at the time frame we had, it was a very tight schedule, and the team pulled it off nonetheless. Last year, we would have brought back just about all the National Carnival events that you would have been familiar with. And in our aim to do that, recognizing the difficulties of COVID, we also made sure that we subsidize a lot of what you saw. So all the troops, the bands, the events were heavily subsidized by the National Carnival Committee because we recognized that last year was a unique year. Coming off of the pandemic, we really had to do all that it took to get things back on the road. And so our mission was accomplished last year. You know, what we set out to do, objective set, objective met. And the economic impact on the country cannot be questioned. When you saw the amount of foreigners that came in last year, the amount of nationals that returned home, when you saw the boost to tourism, you know, during that period, no one could question the economic impact and the direct impact it had on our national revenue last year. Now, that economic impact is a multiplier. And a lot of people overlook that most times. Because for every person that comes in, they have to stay somewhere. If they don't have a family member, it's a hotel or a guest house. Then they have to eat. Some of them choose to rent a car or take a taxi. But they have to move around. And then, as we've seen, most of our troops were sold out. It means then those costumes had to be bought. And if that wasn't enough, you can't put on a fancy costume without the fancy makeup. And so, again, our local artisans had quite a task in preparing our beautiful women for those beautiful costumes. And we could go on and look at the multiplier effect that events like Carnival have. But it is important that as a society we recognize that it isn't just about fun, frolic, and entertainment. It's about economic boost. It is about advancement for our country. And so, if we were to tally, we'd recognize that directly, there was about 1,000 direct jobs provided just from National Carnival alone. And we could go on and multiply how many indirect jobs that was created as well. And so, National Carnival, we see last year, would have captured everybody. I know the chairperson was excited, calling me a number of times, Minister, St. Lucia, Minister. And it was just country after country after country that was calling and saying, we want to be a part of Sugarmas in the future. And this is what our objective was, to ensure that Sugarmas stands out as a beacon of carnivals within the region. We want Sugarmas to be that carnival that people from all over the world decide, I must be there. And I think we are getting there. Everyone agrees? Yes. All right. Now, that was last year. This year, we are now days away from Sugarmas. And we have to have a mandate. And that mandate for this year is one, to make sure that we have continued growth for our carnival product, and by extension, our national product. Because St. Kitts and Nevis, in its 20 almost years of being a tourist destination, if we want to call it that, is still growing. And it is activities like Sugarmas that helps to promote and develop that product. But it is a part that we all must play. Not just inviting our families and friends back home, but what are we doing to market the destination and the brand globally? What role are we playing to ensure that someone in Taiwan, someone in Chile, someone in Alaska decides that the best place to spend Christmas season and Carnival is in sweet Sugar City, St. Kitts? What are we doing? And for me as minister, I'm asking each and every one of you to contemplate on that question. What am I doing to market my destination, my country, my Sugarmas to the world? And I am quite sure that on reflection and contemplation on that question, our ingenuity and our talent would emerge where we would see wonderful ideas coming out. And while we had one of the biggest juvees last year, we plan to double it this year with your help. While we had the biggest grand parade last year. We plan for it to be much bigger this year with your help. And I believe we have the people here to do it. We have an excellent chairperson. She has assembled a world-class team. It was just last week or this week, I paid a pop-in visit to the Carnival Secretariat. And one of our local Calypsonians happened to be in there. And I guess he was doing some business with the Carnival Secretariat. And he said to me, Minister, you could not have put together a more spectacular team for this year's Carnival. And so I am setting the team here with a high standard. Last year was nice. This year has to be twice as good. And so, chairperson, St. Kitts and Nevis, and our people are looking for double what you gave last year, as far as attractions, as far as participation and fun. So with those few words, I want to say to you, chairperson, thank you. Welcome. And we are looking forward to your delivery for this year's Sugarmas. And thank you all for all your hard work and your commitment to the brand and to our National Carnival. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Chairwoman, no pressure. Executive Committee, no pressure. You've done this before, and we know you can do it again. Before we move into our next set of remarks, permit me the opportunity to just introduce you to the members at our head table who don't need any introduction, but for formalities. On my left, to the left of the minister, is our chairperson, Ms. Shannon Hawley, and on her left is the director, Mr. Clement Monarch Ogaro. And then on my extreme right, we have Marcia Jeffers, and Marcia is representing the Department of the Creative Economy. Next to her, we have Mr. Asquith Watson, and he's the chair of the Skellig Soca Monarch competition. And on my immediate right is Mr. Lestrade Leonard, and he's the chair of our street activities. I know everyone will have lots of questions for him come question time. I now invite our Carnival Committee chairperson, Ms. Shannon Hawley, to give brief remarks.
Okay, so I will be brief, even though I told the minister to make it under 2 minutes. I think he said everything that needed to be said. It's so important to have the support of the minister and cabinet by extension, and for them to see the importance of National Carnival. It is such a joy and honor to work under the minister to ensure that we continue to grow our National Carnival product. And that is the mandate he has given us, and that's the mandate that we will continue to produce the biggest, sweetest island carnival in the region. We no longer say small island. We're taking it up a notch, and our aim is to produce the biggest, sweetest carnival in the region. So this is my third year, as everybody knows, as the chair of the National Carnival Committee, and over the past 3 years, we have done just that, continue to grow our National Carnival product. We want to be recognized as a must-do carnival. We want, when individuals are making their long-term plans on which carnivals and festivals they want to attend over the year, they always include Sugarmas as that must-do carnival. And I think that we are accomplishing that, our mission to date. We have this year, for 2024 actually, let me just go a year ahead, we want to make sure that all of our stakeholders are on the same page as the National Carnival Committee. So we want to make sure that when we launch our National Carnival right after Sugarmas 2023 ends, all of our stakeholders are on board, because that is the only way we will be able to market Sugarmas and market the destination. So for 2024, we will be placing some strict policies in place as it relates to our specific stakeholders to ensure that when we launch, our stakeholders launch, so that we don't have stakeholders launching 30 days before National Carnival or 60 days before National Carnival. It is the intention of the National Carnival Committee, and I can assure you that it will be done. For Sugarmas 2024, all of our stakeholders and the stakeholders that attract international visitors and carnival lovers from overseas will be launched by June 2024, prior to the start of the St. Kitts Music Festival. So no pressure, but that is the intention of the National Carnival Committee. But let's move back. I mean, I'm looking ahead because I'm actually so excited, but let's move back to 2023 and why we're here today. Today is actually 1 month before exactly 1 month before the opening of National Carnival, which takes place on the 15th of December. And we felt that it was necessary to bring our sponsors, our various stakeholders, and update them on our plans over the next few weeks as we lead up to National Carnival, as well as over the 2-week power 14 days of non-stop activity. And I'm already tired, so I can only imagine how it will be over the next 60 days as we experience the sweetest annual carnival in the region, by all accounts. And this year, I want to take a special, well, first by acknowledging our sponsors. This year, our sponsors really have showed up for us, as they do every single year. Without the generous support of our sponsors, we cannot accomplish National Carnival on our own. So we have, of course, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, who heavily subsidizes the National Carnival. And then, of course, we have the private entities who every year on year, come on board to support National Carnival. And I want to single out some specific sponsors this year who are with us today, as well as who continue to support us in whatever way they can over the National Carnival period. So this year we have our platinum sponsors, title sponsor of the Miss Teen, Republic Bank St. Kitts and Nevis, Republic Bank for us took a chance on the Talented Teen competition last year, and over the year have doubled their sponsorship to $60,000 because they recognize the importance of the competition for our youth and the development of our young ladies. So I just want to thank Republic Bank. Azul Printers, the Cable is also here with us today, and the Cable is the title sponsor of our Junior Calypso competition, and have also sponsored a contestant for our Queen Pageant. Title sponsor of our Power Soca Monarch this year, Skelec. Skelec, we never take into consideration the amount of work that Skelec does behind the scenes for us, all for free. And this year we have decided jointly that we will introduce Skelec as an actual sponsor, because that is what they are. That is who they are. They sponsor us every year. We take it for granted. In terms of our gold sponsors, we have White Sands by Carambola, and you'll be hearing more about the collaboration with White Sands. Koi Resort, where all of our influencers and our international media and press will be staying. And ZIZ, again, we take these sponsors for granted, but ZIZ comes on board every year as our premier platinum sponsor, media sponsor. In terms of our silver sponsors, this year we have a new sponsor, Dcash. Dcash will be our online payment platform in terms of once you download the Dcash app, you'll be able to purchase your tickets for all of the National Carnival events at a reduced cost. And again, over the next few weeks, you'll hear more from us and Dcash about that promotion that we will be hosting. First Federal Cooperative Credit Union. First Federal, just as Republic Bank took the chance on Talented Teen last year. First Federal has taken the chance on Panorama, and we won't disappoint. And we hope that we will build a long-term relationship with First Federal Cooperative Credit Union. We have Carib and we have COSCAB, and as you see, Dasani Water this year is our official water sponsor, so we want to thank COSCAB. Royal St. Kitts, Greenhouse Band, who is a silver sponsor. Greenhouse Band is practically sponsoring the Junior Calypso competition. They are based in Nevis, and they're traveling down to St. Kitts every weekend and practicing with our youth who are based in St. Kitts, taking time out of their busy schedule over the peak period for them, and we really appreciate their support. And then, of course, we have our bronze sponsors, TDC, who have, again, taken a chance on us this year and have been sponsors over several years with the National Carnival Committee in general, and this year they're sponsoring one of their own contestants, one of their own employees who is a contestant, St. Kitts Music Festival, as well as the St. Kitts Nevis National Bank. We cannot do it without our sponsors, and we also want to acknowledge the sponsors who may not necessarily sponsor national carnival events, but the sponsors who sponsor private events, sponsor troops, sponsor bands, because we're not in competition. They all are a part of building the National Carnival brand. So we want to thank everyone who has come on board in whatever way. It can be financially, monetarily, whatever, to assist us and support us for this year's National Carnival. So we have started a series of pop-up events, and I'll try to be brief because I know we have a number of individuals to speak. So, apologies. We have a series of pop-up events that we have been hosting called We Lime In. You've recognized that last week we had a We Lime In at Last Lap. Tonight we have a We Lime In at Spratnet, and then it moves on to Barry's. We'll have one in Nevis, etc. And all of these are pop-up events where individuals can come listen to Soca Monarch artists perform, play dominoes, have fun, listen to music by our DJs and bands, and enjoy themselves as a promotional activity leading up to National Carnival. We also have the Sugarmas Awards. Last year was our first annual event where we recognize stalwarts of the National Carnival over the past several years. And this year, our Sugarmas Awards will take place next Saturday, the 25th, at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. And that will be aired live, carried live for individuals to log on and see us honor in excess of 40 individuals who have contributed over the past several years to National Carnival. This year, we've taken it a step further and have partnered with the Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, because without the support of the Ministry of Tourism, we will have a very local carnival. And yes, we appreciate the local carnival for residents to enjoy. However, as I said initially, our mandate is to ensure that we have as many carnival lovers fly in over that peak period to support our National Carnival. And therefore, we have teamed up extensively with the Ministry of Tourism to promote our National Carnival. And as such, we have a number of international influencers who will be joining us this year. And the aim will be to promote our National Carnival product and get it out there so that more and more carnival lovers around the region and internationally would be attracted to our Sugarmas brand. We also have international media coming in, and we have mentioned it previously. We have Trini Jungle Juice who will be joining us. And we also have Pageant Tube. Everybody knows these social media international social media websites. So we really are looking forward to these individuals joining us. They'll be here for like a period of 2 weeks. So they'll be able to capture as much as possible for Sugarmas, not only our National Carnival events, but fetes, etc., which is what individuals fly in for, not necessarily National Carnival pageants, but for the private events. We have also partnered with a number of private event promoters, namely Inception, Cane Juice, ASAP, and DJ Terror, to really push and promote these 4 events as part of our National Carnival brand to international fet lovers and regional fet lovers. So you'll be hearing more about the collaboration with specific private events. We have over 28 private events that have registered and are sanctioned by the National Carnival Committee, which takes place all of the events take place in December. As it relates to ticketing, we'll be launching our ticketing as of next week, and you'll again hear more of our ticketing. We will give you every opportunity to purchase your physical tickets or online. Our tickets this year are very friendly on your pockets, right? We have on the 10th of December, we have a free event, which is the Greenhouse Band and the cable sponsored Junior Calypso competition. That competition will take place at the Marriott Resort, and it will be free. We then have Rock the Runway, which is a new event, and that will take place at the Ramada Resort, and that's $30. We then have the opening of Carnival, and all of our main Carnival events from the 15th of December will take place in Warner Park Cricket Stadium, because as you know, we have literally outgrown Carnival Village. So we have the opening of Carnival on the 15th, which is free at Warner Park Cricket Stadium. The Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Kitts and Nevis, which will also take place at Warner Park, and that is $40 for adults, $30 for children. Then there is a Soca Monarch, Skelec Power Soca Monarch competition that will take place on the 21st of December, that's $40. Panorama, Warner Park Cricket Stadium again, and that's $40 on the 27th. The Queen Pageant, the Miss St. Kitts and Nevis Queen Pageant, that's on the 28th of December, and that's $50 at Warner Park Cricket Stadium. And finally, the Calypso competition, Senior Calypso competition, which is $40 on the 29th of December. So we have a jam-packed full 2 weeks between the 15th of December and the 2nd of January for you to enjoy every aspect of National Carnival. And as the minister said, we are the single national event that contributes the most economic activity as it relates to St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's not just about fun and frolic and beads and costumes, but it's really about generating income across such a wide section of the economy. So I apologize for not being brief, but everyone else on the panel, I can assure you, will be brief. And I hope that at the end, you will have several questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Join me in thanking our chairperson, and we forgive you for not being brief. Your information was comprehensive and essential. So many great things to look forward to as we gear up for Sugarmas 52. We'll now have brief remarks from the Director of Carnival, Mr. Clement Monarch Agaro.
Good morning to everyone, and I want to say special thanks to, I see sponsors, media, executive members, and also members of the creative economy here. But I think one set of people that gets left out of these events all the time is the executive office. Carnival committee, well, the Carnival Secretariat, that is. Carnival definitely cannot take place unless you have that engine room where lots of things happen. And so I want to say thanks to the staff. We have a staff of 6 at the office, and I think this is the most that the Carnival office has ever been occupied. So thank you, Madam Chair, for that. Just a couple of things. As you know, as most of you may know, we started to kind of put everything together for Carnival in June. One of the things that we've always had issues with, of course, is judging. We know what people say when the shows are finished, but also, we, this year and last year, we invited Nubia Williams out of Trinidad. She's a professional judge, commentator when it comes to steel band, soca, and calypso. So whereas we had her here for 2 days last year, we had her for 6 days this year. She did 2 days of calypso, 2 days of soca, and 2 days of pan, and I guess we could have continued with pan because they wanted to be here every day. And what we're intending to do, our we're going to select our judges pretty early this year. Our judges should be selected for all the shows by next week. And once we've done that, we'll have Nubia perform a Zoom. She's not able to come back for the season, unfortunately, but we'll conduct sessions with the judges who will judge all of the competitions that we are having this year. One of the other things that we've done this year as well is we think a lot of the shows takes longer than necessary because we have judges who, take their time and they're writing, one number at a time. This year, we've decided to invest in modern technology, and so all of our judging would be done electronically. And I want to say special thanks to the NIA IT folks out in Nevis who are assisting us in this endeavor to ensure that we, speed up our shows and, of course, make our judging more efficient. Just a quick update on vendors, and I know that they're probably tired of us calling them over the last 2 days for a meeting today. But because we have so many vendors, we have almost 200 vendors who are registered, and so we had to find a space convenient for all of them. And as a result, we've had to move our meeting several times. So for the vendors who are listening, or if you know someone who is vending this year, let them know that we'll meet them this afternoon in the south stand of the Warner Park Cricket Stadium at 5 p.m. This will be our first meeting with the vendors, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to, hear all the information that we have for them. Just a couple other things real quickly in terms of our promotion. As you know, this year we've set deadlines, and I'm sure you'll hear more from the committee chairs. This year we've set deadlines basically to force people to put the music out early. And I'm sure everyone is happy that by Friday of this week, we would have heard all of our road march contenders. And I think that's definitely a plus for the folks who love Juve Morning. Same for Soca, but I'll let the chair give you more information. But in terms of our promotion, we're on radio Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. with a show called Sugar Fix. We're featuring not only our committee members, but competitors for the different competitions as well, and our private promoters as well. So if you want to get information, we're on Freedom, 10 o'clock Monday morning, Win FM, 10 o'clock on Wednesday, and ZIZ, 10 o'clock on Friday morning. So right now we have a session going on Win FM, and they told me that I needed to be brief, so I'll stay there for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garrow, for your information as well. One key thing to note, I don't think we acknowledged how huge this was, is the electronic or digitizing of the judging. That is going to be huge for the competitions, and we look forward to that cutting a chunk of time from the overall competition time. We have our committed, dedicated, hard-working executive committee members here in the persons of Marcia, Asquith, and Leonard, and we're now going to hear from each of them for a few more updates on their specific activities for Sugarmas 52. We'll start with Asquith, and to remind you, he's the chair of the Skelec Soca Monarch competition.
Good morning, everyone. Shannon, you have me really excited for Carnival with all that you were saying. I want you guys to know that this year, the Skelec Soca Power Soca Monarch is going to be power only, not groovy. No groovy this year. It's just going to be power. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be electrifying, like I said the last time, because look at our sponsor, Skelec. Power, supplying the power. So we expect high energy. We expect it to be electrifying. This December 1st is our eliminations. It's going to be down at Pozzante. It's going to be on-stage performance for 4 minutes. Our artists, 26 artists, will be performing. 26 artists will be performing down at Pozzante for the eliminations come Friday, December 1st. So I want you guys to go out and support the Soca eliminations down at Pozzante. It's going to be one for the history books. I also want you guys to know that we are having pop-ups for our soca artists. Last week, Thursday, there was a pop-up at Last Lap Bar. 6 artists performed, and it was exceptional. They performed well. Some of them came on board for the first time, and persons were dancing. Persons felt the energy from our soca artists. Our 6 soca artists that performed at the pop-up last week. Tonight, there will be another pop-up at Spratnet, and there will be another 6 or 7 artists performing. So I want you guys to come out tonight at Spratnet to enjoy some good soca music. It's going to be around 8. I want you guys to come down there about 9 o'clock. We'll have our artists performing. On the 21st, Thursday, the 21st of December will be the finals. The finals will be in a fete-like atmosphere. I want you guys to walk with your drinks, your coolers, come in with your flags, your rags. Let's turn up in at Warner Park. We want India to be crazy. We want India to be electrifying. I don't want anyone to be sober. Everyone should be drinking, right? In a good way, right? In a good way, and enjoy each and every one of them. 10 of them will advance from the eliminations into the finals, and then they will meet the reigning monarch winner, which is Statics, at the finals. So I want you guys to know that it's going to be high energy. It's going to be crazy. A lot of work is being done to ensure that you guys enjoy one of the best power soca that Sugarmas has ever seen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asquith, for that update on our Skelec Power Soca Monarch. It's good to know that there are only 26 participants. That's amazing. We're looking forward to that first elimination. We'll move on to Mr. Lestrade. Let's hear about those street activities.
Good morning, everyone. And they know that street activities is basically the heavy lifter for Sugarmas as it compares with Juve, Junior Carnival, Grand Parade, and Last Lap. All this accompanies with Road March also. And you know Road March is like the song of the year. And I know everyone here in this room and in St. Kitts and Nevis listening on the radios as the releases are coming out, and they have until Friday, 17th November at 11 p.m. to release all the songs. Okay, so we're going to start with Juve. And we know Juve is one of the highlights of Carnival, where we have powder, paint, the music, water. And Juve is going to start from 5 a.m. to midday. And we have 13 registered Juve troops. And they are GM Addicts, Grandmasters Band, Small Axe Band, Juve Warriors, Explosion, Fantasy Troop, Chatterbox, Red Devils, Beach Bums, Juve Band, Collision Teflon, Juve Troop, Iconic Revelers, Global Entry Juve Troop, Extreme Juve Troop, Upset Squad Juve Troop, and Excess Band Juve Troop. So we have a lot of Juve troops this year. And Juve might be one of the biggest. I'm not exaggerating, but it's going to be one of the biggest Juve in a very, very long time. And maybe soon we can hold Juve in town. So, but we shall see. Okay, so the Juve Oud contains of the 2 judging points. It starts from the bottom of 4th Street and the top of 4th Street. And to get to that point, you start from the Berry Road by the old Treasury building, make a right up to 4th Street, and then to the top of 4th Street, make a left to Cairn Street, then a left to Church Street, then a right to College Street, then a left onto the Berry Road, and then you come back down. You could do the same thing, same manner, and then you make a right onto Cairn Street, and then right to West Square Street, and then back onto the Berry Road. Okay, so the judging criteria is a design concept, originality, use of color, and presentation. The cash prizes for the Juve troops are $20,000 for the winner, $15,000 for the first runner-up, $10,000 for the second runner-up. Okay, and this consists of size of troops from 200, the bigger troops from 200 people and up, and the small troops from 50 to 199. The winners would get $6,000 and $4,000 for the runner-up. Okay, so I would say the road match is the biggest thing on people's mind right now. We heard a lot of, as I said before, a lot of releases over the past week and a half. We had about maybe 3 to 4 bands released in a space of 48 hours. I've been listening to them, and other soca artists has been releasing. And we have the name of the road match contenders, and one is Barry C. We have 15 registered road match contenders, and it goes by Barry C, ASAP Band, Upset Squad, New Voice Band International, Smarlax Band, Grandmasters Band, 5-Star Pino, Collision Band, King Honesty, Wayne P, Javid Wilkinson featuring DSAP Band, Star Black, Statics, Climate, and Jervin. So those are the 15 registered road match contenders for this year's road match. There will be 2 tiers to the judging, and on Juve there will be 2 judging points, which are the bottom of 4th Street, the top of 4th Street. And right there, there'll be 1 judge at each judging point, and they will be there to record the name of the played tune by any contender during the specific time, and that starts from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So they have 4 hours to do all the necessary hits of each judging point. Then on Grand Parade, the next judging point, because it's going to be 3 judging points, Grand Parade is going to be on the stage. And this will comprise of 1 maximum point from registered road match song that is played by each troop. They could add that, and when they have a crossing of any troop, once the judge hears it, he can tick it. What is the registered road match song? Okay, so the winner of the road match would be $20,000, and first runner-up is going to be $15,000, and the second runner-up is going to be $10,000. And then we have the Grand Parade troops, and the starting time, and you know the Grand Parade is also the highlights as we have the nice pretty masks, everybody gets the makeup done, the ladies get the makeup done, the fellas make sure they get buff in the gym and all the stamina on Grand Parade. So Grand Parade is going to start at 11 a.m. sharp. And I'll put the sharp right next to it. And it's going to end at 9 p.m. sharp. Well, not so sharp, you said? Okay, so so far, for the updated list, what we have so far, we have 5 registered Grand Parade troops. They are Zeus Carnival, and make sure I ask the troop leader how to pronounce their name, so I wouldn't call it wrong. Zeus Carnival, and Lux Carnival, Ultra, No Valley Mass, and the Warriors. The Warriors is out of Nevis, so which is really good to see our Nevis counterparts are participating on the road with us this year. So give it a hand, nice clap. That's very good. And the judging details, well, before that, we go to the route. The route starts from right in front of Dr. William Connor, come all the way down here, go all the way up to Pan Road, where the stage would be. And you could cross the stage, get crazy. Didn't say break down the stage, but you could have fun on that stage and feel free on that stage. And we do the judging is going to happen right there also. But we have 3 judging points. I'll get to that. And then we go up the Agro Strip, turn right on Paul Morris Drive, all the way down to the Bay Road, and make a right up 4th Street, then a left on to Kean Street, then left down to Church Street, right on to College Street, and then left onto the Bay Road. Nobody can say they have a nice long jam. Your foot might be on fire by the time you reach in front of Rams, and the troops can disperse, but the jamming will continue until well, not once, we are going to start on time, and you will have enough time to jam around around town. Okay, so let's go quickly. The judging criteria for the Grand Parade troops is design, craftsmanship, interpretation of theme, presentation, and the cash prize are winner, 25,000, second place, 20,000, third place, 10,000. So we have all in you with your crew for Sugarmas 52. And I hope everybody is ready for the road for Carnival. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leonard, for that comprehensive overview of our street activities. What resonates most with me are the competition winner prizes. They have increased, they are respectable, and they demonstrate the hard work that our creative professionals put into making Carnival what it is across all the various sectors. So kudos to the Carnival Committee for ensuring that happens. We now invite Ms. Marcia Jeffers to give us an update from the creative economy.
Good morning, everyone. And the creative economy is pleased this year again to be partnering with Carnival with a number of events. We kick it off, of course, with our Thanksgiving element in the spirit of Christmas. Everybody looks forward to this event. It's a family event. It's free. It's in the circus. Monday the 4th of December to Thursday the 7th of December. 4 nights of amazing music and dance and instrumentals as we celebrate the birth of Christ, and we give thanks to God for his protection and provision throughout the year. You don't want to miss it. This year, for In the Spirit of Christmas, we have included our folklore, so they're going to have like a pre-show. As you come and you wait, they're going to be entertainment from our folk troops, from some of our folk troops. So it's just 4 nights. It starts at 7 p.m. It's at the circus. You don't want to miss In the Spirit of Christmas this year. And then the day after, we have what we call Festive Friday. Now, it's taking a different format this year. We normally would have a DJ with, soca music and different elements. But this year, Festive Friday is going to take a Christmas sports kind of format. So what we formerly know as Folklore Avenue, it's going to be called Festive Friday. So all the folk troops will be out on the Friday the 8th of December, right on 4th Street, mainly. If there is, some persons were asking about a route, we have that in discussion, but it's going to be mainly on 4th Street. I know there are parents out there listening and wanting to bring their children. Our folklore practitioners are very important to our Carnival and to our culture. They are our tradition bearers, and we want to provide them opportunities where they can showcase their talent. That's our cultural ambassadors. So it's going to be on Friday the 8th of December. It starts at 3 p.m. So we want everybody to come on out. It's a family affair. Bring the children. As you slip out from your offices, you stay right there and enjoy some bowl and some nice, you can run from the bowl. Some nice masquerade, macajumbies, everything. This year, we actually have about 14 folklore troops who have registered, and I'm so excited to announce that we have some junior troops. Some of the schools have been partnering with some of the cultural practitioners, and we have some junior troops coming on board, and some of the folklore from the ICH would be on parade as well. And then we go to the opening. Now, Leah, you said no pressure. We're under a lot of pressure. I'm not going to hide it. The anxiety is buck. Because last year we went all out as per our instruction from the Carnival chair. She said go all out. That was last year. I said, how do we outdo ourselves? We don't know. But we are trying. And I can bet you we will not fail. We're not about failure. So the creative economy has been charged this year with the opening of Carnival. Secrets of Paradise. Secrets of Paradise. Now, if you know anything about a secret, it's not supposed to be told. So you have to come. You have to come. And you don't want to miss it. If you remember anything about last year, it was out the gate. And so this year is no different. With that theme, we are going to have a parade like last year, but this year our parade is going to start from the fisheries right on the Bay Road, because we want to include a lot of our talents, give our creatives an opportunity to be on parade. And so we're going to start from the fisheries on the Newtown Bay Road at 3 p.m. If you're not there by 3, we're going to leave you. We're about time. And in that parade, we'll have our cheer groups, our cheer teams from the high schools. We'll have our folklore on board. We have floats, we have bands, we have the carnival troops, as mentioned by Lester just now. And so we want everybody to come on out. We know we have a virtual audience that is wider than the public audience, but we want people to come on out and show their support in the parade segment. The parade would come down the Bay Road and up 4th Street. Now, last year we started at the old Treasury. It was a little bit, it's a nice central space, but a little bit cumbersome, and so we have extended it this year so that persons can actually enjoy themselves, those who are on parade, and then you who are viewing can actually follow along, and it leads right into the Warner Park on the cricket. Now, the arrival experience. And I say experience, because you don't want to miss it. Your idea of a paradise and our idea of paradise is different. And so I want you to think a diverse paradise experience. Butterflies and birds and waterfalls with dolphins and tikis and tacos and hulas, the works. And so when you're going to be teleporting from St. Kitts into another space, into paradise. And so you don't want to miss that experience. You don't want to miss that experience. We have treats to give out. We have lots of entertainment and promo girls. And so I can't find the words. You have to come. You really, really have to come. So that's on the 15th of December, the opening of Carnival, right from the Bay Road up to 4th Street and into Warner Park Cricket Stadium. The parade starts at 3. The arrival experience at 6:30. So don't miss the experience. We move on to, we have 2 more activities. The folklore competition, as mentioned before. Our folklore is very near and dear to our hearts, and so they too have their own competition. This comes off on Wednesday, the 20th of December, right at the circus. Now, they gather at 3, where they would be adjudged by our visual and textile designers. They're going to judge the costume segment, make sure they have all the bells and ribbons, all the mirrors, everything that they need to have on their costumes. And then the competition actually begins at 5. And so we want the public to be aware of this competition. We normally have a bumper crowd, and this year will be no different. We have, as I mentioned before, about 14 different troops, both juniors and seniors, that have we have been meeting with them, and they are very much intrigued and hyped about this competition, and so they really are going all out. Some of them are having new uniforms and they're going all out, trust me. And so you don't want to miss the folklore competition on Wednesday the 20th. We have 3 categories. So we have the masquerade competition, we have the bull competition. We have singled those out because there are a number of masquerade troops and there are a number of bull troops. And then we have what we call the mixed folk competition. So in that category, we have the tabernacle ancestral mummies, we have the St. Peter's actors, then we have the cowboys and Indians. So every other folklore troupe who is not masquerade and bull would be in the mixed folk competition. And so that starts at 5 p.m. on Wednesday the 20th. And of course, we end with a bang. Midnight escape. And just like Paradise, we wanted to escape. It's a day that you come on out, you can find your Christmas gifts for your family, you can find nice Christmas favorites, like you get your sorrel. I know lots of you like your sorrel and your black cake with a nice little juice, and the ham, and we have some gift cards that we want you to be afforded. So you can, it's a family affair. It's Christmas Eve-ish, the Saturday, the 23rd of December. And the location, of course, is going to be downtown Bastia. It's a street festival, so we have vendors. Now, we have craft vendors, we have food vendors, we have live entertainment. We have a kids zone. Now, last year, the kids made a big, row about, it's only one night, and so we want to be able to afford them the length of time. So it starts at 3 and it goes right up to midnight. So even if it's still one event, we have a lot of time. So don't wait until 8 o'clock to bring them and then the child balling in front of your face. Bring the child at 3 o'clock so they can spend all night in the bouncing castle, on the bowl, or whatever. We also have an adult zone, as in we have an adult space where you can, paint and sip. If you don't want to move around all night, we have activities for the adults as well. I did mention live entertainment. Normally for midnight, we showcase the winners from the previous competitions as well as other entertainment and lots of games and giveaways. So that's Midnight Escape, Saturday the 23rd of December, downtown Bastia. You don't want to miss it. So we start with a bang and we end with a bang. Creative economy, all in with our crew for Sugarmas 52. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking our dedicated committee members for their updates. We now invite them to vacate the space and allow 3 other committee members to come up to give their updates as we head into our wrap-up of this morning's proceedings. So I invite the Chair of Pageant, Mr. Javon Liburd, Chair of First Federal Panorama, Cartel Ford, and of course, Mr. Abernathy Liburd, who is the Chair of Calypso. Thank you so much to our 3 who are outgoing, and we welcome the 3 who are coming up now. And since they've had such a lovely opportunity to relax all morning, we won't give them any breathing time. As soon as they sit, we're starting with Mr. Javon Liburd, Chair of Pageants, because as a pageant chair, you always have to be ready. So over to you, Mr. Liburd. What's our updates on our pageants?
Thank you, and I hope to be very, very brief. So I'm just here to give updates on the pageants. This year, as you know, we're having 2 pageants, the Miss Teen Sinks and Nevis and the Miss Sinks and Nevis Queen pageant. Unfortunately, this year we won't be having the swimsuit pageant. Maybe in the near future, Madam Chair, we'll be bringing that back. But let me start with the Miss Sinks and Nevis Queen pageant. Now, the girls have been engaged in a number of sessions, from interview training, social etiquette, branding, and other forms of training in order for them to be ready and grow as individuals. The most recent session was with Ambassador Jacinth Henry Martin. She conducted a session on the role of being an ambassador, the world of diplomacy, as well as the benefits of diplomatic relations. The girls have also been partnering with a number of government agencies and nonprofit groups. In September, we were independence focused, right? We attended a number of independence-related activities put on by the government, put on by different groups, right? And also the girls did a video for independence, wishing their countrymen independence. And I think this is the first time in a very, very, very long time that this was done and that the girls were so involved in independence and so involved in government-related activities. So I think kudos to the girls and kudos to the minister and the chairperson for allowing us to begin this early this year. Apart from their platforms, we also ensure that the girls conduct some level of community service. They had a full tour at Solid Waste. That was a bit surprising for them, but at the end of the tour, they really, really loved it. They participated in a trash sorting exercise. They learned a lot about where the trash goes after they throw it in the trash and these sort of things. They've also been partnering with a number of organizations. We partnered with the Ministry of Aging and Disabilities. They attended the seniors prom, and from all accounts, they quite enjoyed that, speaking with the seniors, dancing with the seniors, and from the pictures and the videos that I saw, they had a lot of fun. They also partnered with a company, We Care. We Care is a company that takes care of elderly persons. And what they did, they went around St. Kitts giving out baskets or goodies to elderly persons. So we've been doing a lot. They've been doing a lot. The girls, they also participated in the breast cancer walk. And after that walk, they sent a very heart-wrenching message to persons who may have been who are diagnosed in addition to encouraging persons to get tested, right? So the girls, they're definitely out and about in various spaces taking part. These activities and more, like candy making and painting, are also bonding sessions for the girls, for the ambassadors to build camaraderie and friendship. In the coming weeks, the girls will continue these appearances coupled with a ton of marketing efforts to raise awareness. The goal is to get them in each and every space, in people's faces, so much so that you are almost inclined, to immediately get those tickets next week when they are dropped, right? Because we want a bumper crowd, right? At this point, I must say thanks to the 6 sponsors that came on board to sponsor the ambassadors. The St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, who sponsored Azaria Vanterpool, Azul, who sponsored Rihanna Buchanan, The Cable, who sponsored Jamie Peets, Carrie Bury, who sponsored Shavel Watson, TDC Limited, who sponsored Desan Maynard, and the St. Kitts Music Festival, who sponsored Desnerine Hanley. And just to note that this is the actual order of appearance for the night of the show. Back to sponsors, I don't think we've said it enough, or I don't think we can say enough about how much we appreciate their support and their commitment they made. This show would have taken a whole different approach if they weren't on board. Maybe for the worse, who knows? But we really do appreciate these businesses for coming on, not just as sponsors, but as partners of the pageant and partners of the Carnival committee. Just to give you some insight this year, the Miss St. Kitts and Nevis pageant will be held under the theme, Celebrate 40. And the scope of that is celebrating 40 years of diplomatic relations between St. Kitts and Nevis and between St. Kitts and Nevis and Canada, the United Kingdom, USA, Venezuela, Taiwan, and South Korea. Now, this is important to note because I know a lot of us as Kittitians and Nevisians, we are not aware that we are actually celebrating 40 years of diplomatic relations with these countries, right? So that is the theme for this year's pageant. And the ambassadors will compete in 6 segments. They being interview, costume, swimsuit, talent, evening gown, and ambassadorial statement. Now ambassadorial statement is a new segment for this year, and it's just a segment for the girls to learn more and for them to present more and to step into a space where they are seen as ambassadors, right? As I said, it will be quite an exciting and competitive show, one you really don't want to miss. I'll get over to the Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Nevis pageant. They too have been engaged in a number of developmental sessions on communication, branding, and other sessions that are coming up that would cover interview skills and so on. They came on a bit later than the Miss St. Nevis girls. However, they are already on the road, making a ton of appearances, dominating spaces, and participating in a number of bonding sessions. Most of these sessions, the ambassadors for both shows, the Miss St. Nevis Queen Pageant and the Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Nevis, they'll be together because I think there's a lot they can learn from each other. So most of these sessions, you'll see pictures and videos with them together. At this point, just as the chairperson did, I would like to give a huge shout out to the Republic Bank for coming on as a tighter sponsor, doubling their sponsorship, and just for their commitment to these young girls. Because of their commitment, we were able to increase the participation assistance fee from $3,500 to $4,000, and the prize money from $3,000 to $10,000. And that for me is, yes. And that for me is major. And on top of that, they're still giving. They still give at the end of the show. I know they gave starter accounts to the girls, and there's money in that as well, right? So it's a gift that keeps on giving, and we really, really appreciate the Republic Bank for coming on board. And who knows, maybe next year they'll double that double, right? And that's what we're aiming for. The show this year, the Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Nevis pageant is being held under the theme Viva SKN. And the scope of that is 40 years of independence. So let's not get confused. Both shows, as we are celebrating 40. However, the adult pageant, it's 40 years of diplomatic relations, and the teen is 40 years of independence. And as you may know already, we have a total of 8 teens vying for the title. The same number as last year. However, it's still a significant improvement from where we were in the past. The contestants are, and this is the order of their appearance on the night of the show: from the Washington Archibald High School, Tiana Warner; from the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Avoni Wyatt; from the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Sienna Johnson; from the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Destiny Huggins; from the Nevis Sixth Form College, Shante Hendrickson; from the Basia High School, Caitlin Wilson; from the Virtuous High School, Tyonce Library; and from the Sadler Secondary School, Victoria Elowa. And they will compete in 5 segments: the ambassadorial segment, the ambassadorial speech, the ambassadorial costume, talent, formal teenage wear, and interview. We have another set of dynamic girls this year, and I promise you that this show will be another one for the books. Both shows will be one for the books, so as soon as those tickets drop next week, ensure that you are the first to secure your seats. For the Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Nevis, that is on December 19th, and the Miss St. Nevis Queen Pageant on December 28th. And I hope that was incredibly brief.
Thank you so much, Javon, for all of your information. We move quickly along to Mr. Cartel for some updates as well.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Cartel Ford, the chairman of the First Federal Cooperative Credit Union, Panorama. And unlike my executive committee members, I can assure you that I will be brief. Yes, so first off, I would just like to indicate that this is truly a historic moment for us, as First Federal is coming on as our first ever title sponsor. And we are truly happy to have you guys. I know that your logo or your catchphrase is that we say yes. And we want to thank you for coming on board, and we welcome you into the Steel Pan fraternity. So thank you once more. And we could give them another round of applause. Now, the date and venue for our competition is Wednesday, the 27th of December, and it will be held at Warner Park at 8 p.m. sharp. The theme, we have our underlining theme, which is development through historical preservation, as the committee really wants to educate the masses about the origin, pioneers of the competition, of the art form, and how we create steel pan in St. Kitts and Nevis, as well how it trickled down from Trinidad to the Caribbean. So that is what we are really highlighting this year. We have 7 steel bands, 2 from St. Kitts and 5 from Nevis. In St. Kitts, we have the reigning champions, EBJ Harmonics, who will be performing Long Live Soca by Voice out of Trinidad. We have Sugar City Steel Orchestra, which is a new band, formed through a merger this year from existing bands, and they would be performing Cheers to Life, also by Voice from Trinidad. As we head over to Nevis, we have Young Vibration Steel Orchestra, who will be giving a tribute to the late and former Soca monarch, not Soca monarch, Road March champion, Mick Stokes, and they will be singing Lyre Meager. Owali Rhythms will be performing I Command You by Burning Flames out of Antigua and Barbuda. Poinciana Rhythms, which is a small but large in quality band, as their members range from the age of 9 to 18, and they will be performing Like a Boss by Marshall Montana out of Trinidad and Tobago. Nevis Community Development Steel Orchestra, who will be doing Iron Mine by Lord Kishner out of Trinidad and Tobago. And lastly, a new band who was established this year, Gifted Youth Steel Orchestra, who will be doing Lorraine by Explainer out of Trinidad and Tobago. And I must indicate that Panorama is really an interesting competition, as it is very unique. And we are actually the largest competition because we facilitate for over 280 individuals to partake in. So this is really interesting. I know that we have a different range of gender, age groups, nationalities, races. So this is actually a melting pot of the different ethnicities and communities in St. Kitts and Nevis. For the cash prizes, we have done some upgrade, and we can assure you that these cash prizes are nothing but large. So the cash prizes this year, as I said, there is an increase. The preparation money this year would be $2,000, which will be given to all the bands for the competition. First winner would be $20,000. First runner-up, $15,000, and second runner-up, $12,000. The non-placers will be given $3,000 at the end of the show. For Parade Day, we want to thank everyone for coming on board, as we officially announced that steel pan music and bands would be back on the road for Parade Day. We are going to have troops, sorry, not troop. We're going to have a big band going through the halls of the roads of Bastia, and we are also going to have them at central points to be announced at a later date. So as I said, and I am a man of my word, I am completely brief, and I will turn over to Mr. Abonati.
Okay, good morning. I'm charged with the responsibility of Calypso this year, and so my duties will entail organizing the junior Calypso competition and the senior Calypso competition as well. So this year, if we are now going to focus on the junior, this year we celebrate, or the National Carnival Committee celebrates 50 years of junior Calypso for National Carnival. Junior Calypso competition began in 1973 when Gary Knight, Mighty Throwback, was crowned as the first junior Calypso monarch. As the chairperson mentioned, we have 2 sponsors that have come on board this year. We have the Greenhouse Band, and actually the Greenhouse Band will be providing the musical accompaniment for the junior Calypsonians. And we also have the cable as well, and we want to say a big thank you to these 2 sponsors for their tangible contribution. Now, the competition this year will take place on Sunday, the 10th of December. I know previously you would have heard Friday, the 8th of December as part of Festive Friday, but we have since moved the function to Sunday, the 10th of December, and it will take place at the Marriott Plaza in Frigate Bay. Begins at 5 p.m. and it will be a free event. And so we want to invite each and everyone, parents, Calypso lovers, supporters, to come to the Marriott Plaza and support our children. Now we have 19 participants this year, and this is a major improvement from last year, because last year I think we had seven competitors, and so we are up this year to 19 of those, persons participating. Now, because of the difference in the age range, we have taken a decision this year to split the competition into 2 categories. And so we have the primary school junior Calypso monarch competition, and this will comprise primary school children between the ages of 8 to 12 years of age. And then we have the secondary school junior Calypso monarch competition, which would comprise secondary school students between the ages of 13 up to 18 years of age at the time of the competition. Now, the format for the competition, because we are having 2 different sections, we will have 5 competitors in the primary school junior Calypso competition, and they will compete first. And then after that competition is completed, we will have the secondary school junior Calypso monarch competition, and we will have 14 competitors in this competition. The backing band, as I said, is the Greenhouse Band, and we will commence rehearsals right here at the Carnival Secretariat Extension this coming Saturday for the competitors from St. Kitts. In terms of the prizes, and so the winner of the primary school junior Calypso competition, the winner will get $2,500, first runner-up $1,500, second runner-up $1,000, and the non-placers would each get $500. In terms of the secondary school category, the winner would get $3,500, first runner-up would get $2,500, second runner-up would get $1,500, and the non-placers would get $500. Now, this being the 50th anniversary of the Junior Calypso competition, the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee wishes to acknowledge the contributions of 3 former National Carnival, junior National Carnival participants, in the persons of Dr. Sir Hugh Rollins, Dr. Irvin King Sweeney, and Mr. Melvin Edwards, who collectively have once again donated a total of $2,908.50, which will be shared among the top 3 placers in the secondary school junior Calypso monarch competition. And we want to give a big thank you to these 3 contributors. Now, quickly we move to the senior Calypso monarch competition. This year we had 62 registrations. However, only 54 of these 62 persons will participate in the Sugarmas 52 Senior Calypso Monarch competition. This year, the National Carnival Committee will reintroduce the 3 stages of the competition. And so we have the eliminations set for Sunday, December the 2nd, Saturday, December the 2nd, and Sunday, December the 3rd. The semifinals will be on Thursday, December the 14th, and the grand finals will be on Friday, December the 29th. Now, the Calypsonians will perform 1 song at the eliminations, and then they will perform 2 songs at the semifinals and the grand finals. Now, 16 Calypsonians will advance from the eliminations into the semifinals, and then 8 Calypsonians would advance to the finals from the semifinals. In terms of Calypso tent, the Proud Sound Calypso tent, hosted by the Grandmasters Band. We have 2 Calypso tents this year. We'll have the Proud Sound Calypso tent hosted by the Grandmasters Band, and we'll also have the Legends Calypso tent hosted by the Legends Band. And the Legends opened the Calypso season tent on Sunday, November the 5th at the Spratnet, and saw 13 senior Calypsonians and 1 junior Calypsonian in the person of Lady Faith performing. So imagine a junior Calypsonian performed or is performing with the Legends Band, the Legends Senior Calypso tent this year. The Legends tent will move to Progress Bar and Grill in Sandy Point tomorrow evening, and then tomorrow evening, Thursday, November the 16th, and then to the Vibes Beach Bar in Frigate Bay on Sunday, November the 18th. Now, the Proud Sound Calypso tent opened its doors this past Sunday, November the 12th, at Spratnet, and saw 16 Calypsonians performing. The Proud Sound tent would move back to the Spratnets this coming Sunday night, November the 19th, for tent number 2, and we'll see the likes of reigning Calypso Monarch, Queen Independent, Big Lies, Queen Kibby, and a host of other performers who did not perform in that first Calypso tent. Then we move now to a major announcement. This year, the National Carnival Committee has decided to use an all-star Calypso band comprising of contracted musicians from the Legends Band and the Grandmasters Band. The all-star band will provide musical accompaniment or support for the semifinals and the finals. Rehearsals with the all-star band will commence right after the eliminations. Cash prizes for the Senior Calypso Monarch competition. The winner this year gets $20,000. The first runner-up gets $15,000. The second runner-up gets $12,000. And the non-placers get $4,000. And as far as updates is concerned, this is all I have. And I'm looking forward to tremendous support for our junior and senior Calypsonians for Sugarmas 52. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Abenaki, for that comprehensive update. If the length of the committee members' updates are a reflection of their hard work, then we know they are working long, long hours. Definitely. We now open the floor for any questions to any of our head table, not me, no questions from me, but the actual people, and those who went down already as well. Any questions? They did such an excellent job with their updates. I think they've answered all of any possible questions, correct? Question from the floor? Yes, please introduce yourself and where you're from. Then
Mervan Thompson, thank you, Leah. Mervan Thompson from ZIZ, ZBC, ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. I have a question for Mr. Lestrade, street activities. It is surrounding the road match. Can you please shed some light on the route and the judging aspect of it? And then I understand that some persons, they are not necessarily in agreement with some new criteria that was proposed. So I'm asking for clarification on it.
Question. Thank you for the question. The new criteria is basically simple, most easiest criteria we could think of. The judging points for the road match is on Juve, bottom of 4th Street, top of 4th Street. Grand Parade is on the stage. At each judging point, the judge is going to tick from whatever road match song is being played or record the name of whatever road match song is being played. The same thing goes for Grand Parade. Whatever road match song is being played on the stage, crossing the stage, if it's by a registered Grand Parade troupe, once it's the first song when they're crossing the stage, the judge is going to record it. So as much as songs going across the stage, same thing, from any troupe, they could do the additional tally to the road match.
And just sorry to add to what Mr. Lestrade said, our judging criteria is exactly what it is in every other island, everywhere that judges road match.
I have a real carnival.
Previously, for some reason, this was the road match criteria for several years. However, it was changed a few years ago for whatever reason, whereby it was only judged on Juve, and there was a percentage where they had 4 judging points, and then they had a performance stage. And it was a very complicated, complex breakdown of a system whereby you would get a percentage for performing and a percentage for passing the specific judging points. And because of the route, it's very difficult. Some people go left, some people go right. Some people miss a judging point at National Bank, some people miss a judging point at Development Bank. So that is why we made a decision to have 2 judging points, because people always circle and pass the top and bottom of 4th Street. So it would not disadvantage both our contenders who may be soca monarch artists versus bands. The judging criteria, in our view, was more geared to specifically the band. So we want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to be judged fairly.
Okay, I understand. I remember that mix-up, and I agree with what the Carnival Committee is proposing. However, the timing, being on a band last year that was contending for road match as well, I saw from that vantage point how the difficulty in getting 2 judging points. And I remember being in the same position for more than an hour during the judging point. And this is the situation every year. So it's the complaint of bands and other contenders as well that, like, between 6 to 10, when I'm going to be in the same position for an hour and a half, it severely impacts my potential to even hit up the judging points. And this is like just along 4th Street. I could be at the bottom for an hour and a half and the judging point is right there and still miss it because 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. So is there the potential or the possibility for maybe the route to be a little different so that there is more space sort of to maneuver the crowd, hopefully, so that everybody could at least hit up the judging points within the time frame given. And I understand that apparently there is a vote from the contenders against the criteria that was presented. Is it possible for the committee to address that? Or maybe a meeting might need to be had or something, I'm not sure.
Thank you. Sorry, I've taken over the mic. I apologize. But in terms of the backlog that was experienced last year was specifically because of the participation element of the judging. So there was a participation for performance, sorry. The performance was on the Bay Road, so people were performing on the Bay Road and people couldn't, some bands were performing, others couldn't pass. We feel that with this very simple modified version of the judging for road match, there will be a non-stop movement, and the committee responsible for streets has taken that into consideration, the backlog last year when planning the route for road match. We also have to understand we have Road March being judged on that day, as well as the Juve troops being judged on that day. We're working very closely with our security forces to make sure that the route is as seamless and easy as possible so that we would not experience the backlog. But what we found was the backlog specifically was because of that performance stage down on the Bay Road. Everybody wanted to hit the performance and perform on the Bay Road. All the Road March contenders have signed the policy, and in the policy breaks down the criteria as it relates to judging. So therefore, the policy is a policy. It is not something, and it is not some, we have had several discussions with the Road March contenders on the policy, including last week. It's not we don't expect everybody to agree, but at the end of the day, we're doing it because we have we are judging both Road March and Juve troops on that day. And we think that we need to make it even more inclusive by using the opportunity to judge Road March on that extra day, which is Grand Parade. And basically my thoughts about the reasons why individuals have the issues with the judging is nothing to do with the route, it's nothing to do where the judges' location are. I think it is beyond that. However, the policy is the policy, and the Road March judging will remain as it is.
Do we have...
Just to add one thing, Marvin. Now, you say you were with a band last year that was stuck for an hour and a half. Which band were you with? Well...
I was on Barry's truck with his powder and fog song, and we were in front of the museum for quite a while, trying to get up the road.
Thank you for that second answer. And just to talk about the Road March again, I think it seems like we're changing to something that we've never had before. I'm the oldest person on the panel. Some people call me uncle, some people call me grandfather. But I've been involved in Carnival since 1973, and we're judging Road March this year the way it was judged for more than 30 years. It's only in the 90s and maybe 2000s that we keep changing the judging criteria every year for whatever reason. So we're going traditional, Trinidad, Grenada, St. Vincent, Antigua, St. Lucia. This is how they judge Road March. You pass the judging point, we take the song that plays.
I didn't realize you were there. I had a quick question about power, Soca Monarch. I think a few years ago, it was one category, and then it came back to the two, and then now we're going back to one. I was wondering about that. I don't know if it's the intention of the Carnival Committee to sort of elevate the Soca Monarch product, and there was some confusion on Facebook about why one particular personality was featured in the poster, and not the other, and so forth and so forth. I know it's a power competition, so I mean, by the poster advertising two persons or showing two persons, it might be advertising two competitions when that's not necessarily the case. So I don't know if some light can be shed on that.
Okay.
Shannon, would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, okay, so our graphic artist produced a save the date with the reigning power Soca Monarch. For whatever reason, I will not go into that. However, there was some confusion that I am not aware of, that I heard about recently, as it relates to one of the reigning monarchs who will not be participating. The reason for moving the Soca Monarch to power category only was because we've seen in many of the islands, we've seen recently Trinidad cancel their Soca Monarch, Barbados cancel their Soca Monarch and replace it with a different event. We are recognizing more and more our artists. We see one of them behind the camera. And as they as they grow, they don't want to participate in Soca Monarch anymore. They feel that Soca Monarch is for juniors. And we cannot, no matter how we try, we cannot get what we consider heavyweights to perform in the Soca Monarch, no matter how we increase the cash prize money, make it more attractive, etc. And we felt that this year, concentrating on the power, which is what most people come to Soca Monarch to witness, the power segment, it would make it more attractive for attendance-wise. Last year, we had a very low attendance at our Soca Monarch competition. We want to give it one more try because we know that there's so many people who put their all into Power Soca Monarch. But at the end of the day, it is a financial decision for the National Carnival Committee. So we want to make sure that we entice as many individuals to come on out to the Soca Monarch competition, and thus the reason for making it one category power.
And in terms of prize money, as Shannon mentioned, the winner last year got $12,000. This year, the winner, $20,000. So an $8,000 increase in the prize money for the winner.
And the runner-up will receive $10,000, and then second place will receive $8,000. And then there's a $3,000 for preparations, and then $4,000 for those who participated.
We'll take our next question now.
All right, good morning all. Glenn Barrett, SK Newsline. I want someone to address the management of the street parade, particularly the Grand Parade. Many persons who visit, but persons who have interacted with, mainly who are visitors, complain about the gaps between the troops. Now, over the years, I've seen that it has actually gotten smaller, but it still exists. So if someone can address the management of the actual flow of the parade, that would be great. Secondly, with regards to floats, now at one time, many years ago, floats was a big thing. In some carnivals, like in Brazil and so forth, it is still a big thing. Why isn't there any emphasis being placed on the creative components that floats bring to a carnival parade? And is it a matter of funds? Is it a matter of interest? I don't know. And my last thing is, in regards to the parade as well, is that people also complain that most of the trucks that carry the bands are not decorated. So you have this kind of strange mismatch between a troop that's very colorful and then a vehicle that is not in very good condition and is not portraying the right concept of color and creativity.
Okay, I'll start with a question with the management of the flow of the parade. Me and my team, this year, we are using the best available technology to keep the parade flowing as easy and as simple as it is. We just got some new communication devices so we could keep everyone in check on where the parade is. Once the parade starts on time, which is going to happen, we should have a nice, flowing, tight parade for the January 1st.
Yeah, thanks. As it relates to the bands that are not decorated, the parade troops, or bands as we call them, are privately owned. As you heard extensively how much responsibilities the National Carnival has and how much financial burden we have, for us to take on an additional financial burden of decorating bands and creating floats for the parade, we really cannot take that on. It is really the responsibility of the private bands. However, what we can look at in the future is encouraging and having prizes for most creative float, etc. in the parade. But the parade is really, all of the bands and the troops are privately owned. And that's something that we can look at in the future in terms of having categories for floats and decorating the trucks, because it's more than the bands that are on trucks. It's like toilets, it's bands, it's music trucks, catering, etc. Sometimes we have in excess of 15 trucks that accompany parade troops, as these parade troops get larger, in excess of 1,000+ people in each troop.
Good morning. LaShawn Dixon, St. Kitts News Observer. 2 quick questions. Concerns there have been many in the public having concerns about being a mass sprayer, the cost of being a mass sprayer these days, and how the prices have risen. The question is, are there any concerns that the common man and woman may be frozen out because of the cost, and how can the committee ensure that the common man and woman remain part of the carnival? And secondly, the minister spoke about the carnival being the largest national economic, having the largest economic impact. Where can members of the media find that data?
On the first question, our mass bands are getting bigger every year. So I understand what you're saying, and I know a few years ago in Trinidad, they did create something. I don't know how to describe the people that you talk about, or maybe the people who don't want to go in a big band and pay whatever the big band is. I mean, maybe that's a consideration for the future, or our folklore don't cost as much. We see a lot of people playing clowns and masquerades. And as well, I mean, we see a lot of financial institutions as well becoming involved in financing costumes for Carnival. Now, that's a personal decision, not a decision by the Carnival committee, but, you know, there are options out there.
I know this isn't a question for me, but I just wanted to comment and just say quality, right? I think years ago, the quality of the costumes you were seeing when it was 900 and 1,000 and 1,500, as a people, we asked for better, and I think we can say that the troops delivered better, and the quality it's at right now, it's not $2, it's not $3, right? And I think the persons that are registering, right, they understand the cost of quality, right? And it's not just a costume, it's an experience, it's you being on the road, it's you being exposed to bottomless drinks, limitless drinks. There's a lot of add-ons, limitless. I was thinking about mimosas, sorry. There's a lot of other add-ons. Some troops offer makeup this. Shannon spoke about bathrooms and Monarch, you know, and they don't own these facilities, you know. So there's a lot of things that go into actually getting on the road, and I think the persons who buy into it understand it, right? But also I would say to you, in saying common, I think you should have defined, right? Because I'm common and I paid my money to go into a particular troop, no matter how high it is, because I want to be a part of that experience. So I have no money. let's just note that I am common, right? And I am willing to put my money where my mouth is and get that experience. And just Ms. Shadderton pointed out, these bands are filled with common persons, and well, based on your definition, and they are sold out, right? So I just wanted to add that.
In terms of the the economic impact, we recently commissioned and concluded an economic impact assessment study, and we can share it with those of the media who contact the office. We will be happy to share it with you.
One of the things that I haven't heard anything about this morning is post-event cleanups. All the activities on the road create a lot of waste. What is the collaboration going on between the committee and the solid waste management or any other entities to ensure that the streets are cleaned very quickly, bearing in mind that we have cruise ships coming in? And as an extension of that, what is the arrangements being made in relation to taxi operations? Because a lot of events are taking place in the circus. Last year, I think some taxi drivers were complaining bitterly that they were just pushed aside and that there was no specific spot for them that they can go, that people know that they should go to. So they were basically left on their own. What kind of collaboration, what kind of discussions are taking place between taxi operators, the association, and with regards to the cleanup of Bastille when it's finished?
We collaborate with both solid waste and a number of private cleaners every day to clean up after the troops between events. We also place garbage bins extensively on 4th Street and in the heavy trafficked areas. We did that last year. We placed garbage bins because there are no garbage bins there now. We placed garbage bins along the route. We also had cleanup crews after the route. We have cleanup crews after the events downtown. One event that I didn't mention is a private event, a collaborative event with a private event promoter, is Study It on the Block, which takes place for a 2-week period every night downtown. So we have crews that clean up, especially understanding that it's a peak period and visitors are on island and come on island early in the morning. We also have crews that clean up. In terms of the taxis, we always provide the taxi drivers with an alternative area to do their taxi services from, never pushed aside. Yes, we understand that the circus is an area for taxis. This year, we're not doing, it's not proposed unless the security forces advise us otherwise. We're not doing any major events in the circus as we did last year early up. However, vendors will be situated in the circus. Last year, our vendors started from the 18th of December. This year, our vendors are moving back to just that peak week where we have vendors set up between Christmas Day and last lap, because we had a lot of complaints from businesses in the area last year with vendors just taking advantage of the situation. We have a meeting with vendors this afternoon to discuss the details. But we never push the taxis aside. However, we provide them with an alternative space for them to be placed. You must understand that this is a national event, and we really want maximum participation and support from various stakeholders in whatever way. It may be a taxi driver, or it may be a vendor. We're dealing with so many moving parts. I mean, you've heard today of the extensive events that we are attempting and succeeding in managing. So just to answer your question, the taxi drivers will be provided with an alternative space to have their taxi services from at that time, during that time. That's it.
Okay, we'll take our final question of the morning.
All right, good morning, everyone. Kevin Brown from WinFM. I guess I'm ending on a lighter note. Like Music Festival, is there any provision for like a space for marijuana enthusiasts for any of the Sugarmas 52 events or any Sugarmas in future?
From our Carnival committee members, we also heard about the strong contribution from the sponsors. Thank you. From the sponsors. And again, to reiterate, without the sponsors, none of this could be possible. Just a plug here for the minister and cabinet going forward. As Carnival grows, so should the funding. That is all. I'm not over there because I could imagine the side eye. But thank you all for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing from our updates. And remember to be all in with your crew for Sugarmas 52.
Ambassadors from 8 schools are set to compete in the 2023 Republic Bank Miss Teen Singers and Mirrors Pageant. From the Washington National High School, Tiana Warner. From the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Anthony Wyatt. From the Clarence Fitzroy White College, Sienna Johnson. From the Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Destiny Huggins. From the nearest Sixth Form College, Shante Hendrickson. From the Bastia High School, Caitlin Wilson. From the Frochurch High School, Tayonce Lybrand. From the Saville Secondary School, Victoria Eloy. To follow the ambassador's journey to the crown at SCAN Carnival on all social media platforms.